Good evening, you guys. By the time you're seeing this, it's going to be evening because right now it is 5:30 and this is not my usual filming spot. As you can tell, I am actually in a hotel room. Super excited because I am meeting a friend tomorrow and helping her with an art walk. Bree from Documented Journey. You guys know I'm obsessed with her journal covers and her pen cases. Yes, this is one that you probably, if you're following Bree on Instagram, she has kind of given sneak peeks of this, but we have a collaboration coming up in December and it includes this gorgeous pattern. So consider this a teaser. This is December Forest. So, yeah. All right. So this video is basically my week 2 of PREPTOBER to show you like what's going on, where I'm at, give you the things I've changed, let you hear where I'm headed, because things have changed already 1 week in. But you know what? I'm like, at least it's changing now and not a week in November while I'm writing the novel. Okay, so you guys have seen my bullet journal. I did add some splatters because the reason that I added these little red splatters, I like threw it down. As I was plotting Marigold, who I mentioned was Ruby's niece. Ruby was the novel that I was working on last year for NaNoWriMo. Totally threw it in a corner. I think I over plotted, or that's what I thought. But as I was diving in and getting to know Marigold, Ruby was also a main character. Ruby basically was like, stop. I deserve my story to be told. So we're back to writing Ruby. And that's why I had to add the red, because Ruby was born in July. Yeah, so I had to add like the Ruby colors versus just orange for Marigold. This novel is sacred and spicy, and I do have a pen name that I'll be using with probably both novels, because most of my current work that I do under my name is poetry, workbooks, and nonfiction. I do have a special project coming in December though, so stay tuned. It also has to do with this little teaser here. Anyhow, so that's the main thing that changed in week 2 is I decided I was going to go back to the pages of Ruby and tell Ruby's story. So let me just kind of share some things that I grabbed and things that I'm working on. I did pick up this book by another YouTuber here. I love her. She's amazing. She is an author. She has a bunch of books. She's traditionally published. Emma Bennett. This is Write, Eat, Sleep, Repeat, 30 Days, 50,000 Words, How to Win NaNoWriMo. This, if you have never done NaNoWriMo, I highly recommend grabbing this book. As you can see, it's easy to get through, but it walks you step by step through what Nano is, the difference between being a Nano rebel, different ways you can plot your novel. It's not a how-to book necessarily, because it doesn't walk you through how to outline. But what it does do is it gives you things to consider. So exactly, consider story beats and how to improve your word count. What happens if I start late? Keeping motivated. It's a wonderful resource. So I picked up that for week 2 and have been going through that. I also, I added things to my bullet journal. So the bullet journal flip is coming. Not today, sorry about the AC. Not today because I don't have my tripod, but yeah. So I've got a bunch of printables that I want to glue into my bullet journal, but I added, okay, so what, 94. So I've got The first 94 pages have been started, and you guys know I like to work front to back, back to front. And then in the back, so this Leuchtturm has 200 and something pages, and working the opposite way, I'm on page 232 with my self-care bingo list. Again, I will do a full flip through once I'm home and I can pull out my tripod. I also pulled out, I went to my bullet journal from last year, which is where I outlined the pages of Ruby. I didn't actually start the pages of Ruby. On day one when I went to write it, I just didn't feel comfortable writing some spicy stuff. And there's a lot of kind of taboo-ish things. It is a witchy, spicy type drama, I guess you could say. It's not really, I mean, it has romantic elements, but I wouldn't call it a romance. I would call it women's fiction with a witchy, taboo kind of things that happen. Anyhow, so I pulled those back out, which basically are the whole shebang from Sarah Cannon, Heart Breathings here on YouTube. My Act 1, Act 2, first half, Act 2, second half, and I mean these are full, you guys. Act 3, yeah. So I pulled all of those out, and I also printed off, because I do multiple different creative methods, but I love the snowflake method. It is a method that if you don't want to be super detailed, like this is still a little too detailed for me. This has all the things for the pages of Ruby. I'm going to take this and I'm going to take away some of what is written and allow there to be more discovery writing for this novel. But I did print out the snowflake method because I just love it. I love the process, and it feels more intuitive for me than like story beats. So I pulled that out. What else do I have here? Oh, I also did, I love Sarah Cannon's PREPTOBER workbook, but I also wanted to support Natalia Lee. So I did, some of these sheets are from her PREPTOBER workbook, and I'm excited to fill them out. So I'm gonna cut these and glue them in my bullet journal. Here's the specific, here's my favorites. The Basics of Your Good Book. I love that page. Then there's Your Writing Rituals. And then I do like this, and I will cut these out and glue them. Color Your Way to 50K. Yeah, so all of those are gonna be cut and glued into my bullet journal. Okay, 2 more things that came up for me in week 2 that I am thrilled to talk about. And they're about NaNoWriMo, but also not. So the first one is definitely NaNoWriMo. I have decided to handwrite the pages of Ruby. I hand wrote the pages of Ava in 2017, and it was my favorite NaNoWriMo ever. And I know that that's kind of crazy. The worst part about handwriting the novel or handwriting for Nano is you have to physically count every word. That is the worst part. So any of you that are interested, I have a friend, Ashley. Ashley also decided to handwrite hers so we can kind of like keep each other accountable and cheer each other on. Counting the words is the worst part. I find that when I handwrite projects, every one of my poetry collections has been handwritten. The Wild Sexy Life series was not, but all of my poetry books were handwritten. The Letters to a Young Poet Girl was handwritten first, and that kind of is like the zero draft for me. And then when I move it to the computer, that's like my first big edit. Moving it from being handwritten into the document. I just find that I write so much cleaner when I'm handwriting. I like to compare it to how we used to take photographs. You used to have a camera with film inside, and you were careful because every time you hit that click button, every time you took a picture, you didn't get to erase it. You were paying for that picture. So you took the time to get yourself situated, to get what you wanted in the viewfinder, and you intentionally took a photo. Nowadays with our phones, we're just snap, snap, snap. You can delete whatever you want to delete, and it's just rushed. And I find that it's a similar thing when it comes to handwriting versus writing on a computer. When I write on a computer, I'm just getting out words, and you can also delete. Whereas when you're handwriting with the pages of Ava, I have read that back like 3 times. And I know I feel bad telling you guys this, but it's just it's a very personal fiction for me. And this is not based on real life. This is not a real life fiction, but that one was, even though it was about a woman going to India. Ava, the things that Ava went through on her journey, I went through also. So it's just way too real. But writing it, I chose my words like I would choose words when I write a poem. Like, they were intentional, they were thought through. Yes, it took me longer. I have one nano typing early multiple times. That one, like, I was behind. I got to a murky middle. Like, it was hard. But to this day, again, it's my favorite nano that I ever participated in, and it's one of my favorite things I've ever written. So by next week, hopefully, I will share with you guys another Leuchtturm that I will be picking up to do my handwriting in, to write my novel in. I'm so excited about that. So that's a big announcement. The other thing I wanted to say is I am going to be utilizing tarot for this project also. Again, this is a witchy project. One of my main characters has a tarot reading that she goes to, and she ends up becoming a tarot reader herself. And I have chosen a very special, I've actually got 2 decks that I'm going to be working with for NaNoWriMo. One of them is personally for me. A friend and I threw together our own little tarot and oracle collection. And so I'm going to be using that to inspire me, not about my story, but in regards to, okay, what message do I need today? I'm stuck and I'm not exactly sure where to go from here. Give me a message. That type of thing. But there is a deck that called to me that wanted to be worked with specifically for Ruby. So I wanted to share that with you. And also I wanted to plug another friend's opportunity that she has created. Anyway, Darkwood Tarot, this is Ruby's, this is the deck that wants to be worked with for this novel. I'm super excited. Someone recommended this deck to me, Leanne, from Leanne Aligned, and I do want to say, the little plug I wanted to throw out, Leanne has just opened up her Tarot 101 course or masterclass. It's a 3-day masterclass. I believe that the videos are pre-recorded, and they're like total, it's like at least 5 hours worth of content. And it is on a sliding scale, pay what you can. And yeah, so Leanne was the one that told me about this deck, and she shared that as someone who has small hands just like me, this deck was fairly easy for her to shuffle. And I will say she is correct. But it also is a story in and of itself about a witch's journey. So it's just perfect. And Ruby, I'm just so excited. This screams the pages of Ruby. And so I'm really thrilled to have this deck, and I'll be sharing kind of how I'm using it as you guys, I can riffle shuffle. I am going to edge this deck. I really want to find like a ruby color. Honestly, kind of like this right here. I just think that would be gorgeous. Yes, so week 2, the biggest things that I have done for Preptober is answer the call to return to Ruby, decide that I'm handwriting the novel, set up my bullet journal. I'm very proud of myself for setting up the bullet journal. And while I'm here at the hotel, I'm gonna be working on snowflaking this story. I'm so freaking excited about it. Anyhow, I hope you guys, oh, I should show you, I didn't bring the other thing here. What I'm using in my bullet journal, I'm using 3 different utensils. I'm using the Tombow, I think, yeah, Fudenosuke pen. For the titles, I'm using the Hobonichi Black for writing in it. And then I also am using a Tombow, a specific Tombow color, but it's in my backpack. Let me show you an example. Oh, one more thing. Oh my goodness. I cannot believe I forgot. Okay, I'll show you this because it'll be a teaser. So here's how I'm doing it. So I've got the title and then I highlight it with the Tombow marker, and then I am writing with the Uniball Jetstream. Okay, I totally forgot that I did this in week 2. Olivia Cameron, I think is her name, Olivia Cameron here on YouTube. I will put her link down below. I will put all these links, if I can remember, to like Emma's book, the Darkwood Tarot. I am not affiliated with any of them. But Olivia Cameron here on YouTube did a Preptober video, and she shared that she was using an AI character creator website to find her characters. Guys, it was amazing. I played with it for a while until I felt like I could get it right, just to see what it would do, because you can type in hair color, you can type in what they do for a job, you can go deep into your characters, and then you can pick, do you want anime? Do you want it? I think I chose oil portraits, like oil pastel, oil painting. Not exactly sure which I chose, but that was a big thing that I did. I've never done that before. So I have my AI. So here's Ruby, which is Marigold's aunt. Marigold will probably not be in book 1, but I already have plans for book 2, and with the same characters, just with it's Marigold's story. But I have Ruby, I have Lilith, and then I go into deeper detail on Ruby. You get like multiple pictures when you do it. There's Lilith, and then we have Roman. Yeah, it's so fun. So that is another thing that I did in week 2. All right, that is everything. I've kept you guys long enough. If you're over on my Patreon, I'm planning on trying to do a little vlog of my time with Bree here, so stay tuned for that. Yeah, I will chat with you guys later. Until next time, enjoy your wild, sexy lives.